By the way, I have a lot of interesting cases. I don't think we have enough time to talk about all of them, but the one that really stands out is a business dispute, shareholder dispute between two brothers that owned a trucking company in a far south suburb of the Twin Cities. They had been in business together for about 20 years. They had inherited the business from their parents. Although their parents were no longer in the business, they were kind of involved in it, overseeing things. Got along fine for 20 years. Both of the shareholders at some point got married, and when the wives came into the picture, behind the scenes, trouble ensued and litigation ensued. And I wound up representing the older of the two brothers. We wound up being involved in 3 lawsuits involving them. There was a 4th lawsuit threatened where the brothers were going to bring in the parents into the lawsuit. We ultimately globally resolved that. But one of the most memorable times of that litigation is I went out to their farm in this southern suburb to take a look at some of the personal property that the brothers owned together and trying to separate that. And the two brothers almost came to fisticuffs. And myself and the other lawyer had to stand. These are big guys. The other lawyer and myself had to get in the middle of these two that were going to go to blows. That's never happened in any other case that I've had. So I remember that one quite well. Yeah, it's interesting. When I get into business divorce, so separation of owners from companies, which I do a lot of, when it involves family members, I like to get through the dispute in a way that the family members maybe could go sit down at a Thanksgiving dinner table in the future and actually have a civil conversation with one another. So that, they're first and foremost relatives, their brothers, their mothers and daughters and fathers and cousins. And in my view, those are people that shouldn't let business get between them and a long-term good relationship. So that's a high on my list of to-dos when I'm working with, certainly with family-owned businesses. A lot of the litigation matters I get involved with are just friends or business acquaintances or whatever. It's a little different story there. But when it's family members, I am very careful in how I deal with the other side, with respect, and not in a way that's going to further inflame things.